Okay, hello everyone, I'm Kwang Ming and I'm the founder of Skyfeather Game Studio, and we are a small indie team from Malaysia, and currently we are working on this indie game called Exist.EXE, and it's a puzzle adventure game about a game developer getting sucked into a digital world, and you can use his abilities to solve puzzles by programming objects, change their states, things like that. So let's go into the game. So you start out by having the character in the office, in their day-to-day work life, and all of a sudden he get an email from nobody, and he gets sucked in the digital world. So this resembles this is like his house or something, so he's not sure what's going on yet, right? And when he exits, he's inside a digital world, and he's wondering what's happening. And his assistant is calling him from the real world, and he's like, what? My body's outside and I'm inside the digital world, the computer? Yeah, so he needs to find a way out. And this is a digital hub in the whole game. And here he meets a mod for the whole area, and the mod is trying to fix the errors all over, right? And the mod asked for the main character's help. So he will direct the main character to each of the world represented by all these killers. And yeah, let's go into the level. So the first level is more of an introductory level, tutorial level, where player gets to know more about the game mechanics. Yeah. And here there's a lock that can't be pushed. There's stuff blocking it away, and player can now use his ability to program stuff. And player can change it easily by changing the size of the lock here from a large lock to a regular lock, and yeah. Now the path now opens up. So it's a programming game, but done in a very simplified way, so everybody can get into it very easily. And player doesn't require any complex control as well. They just need to move around, select stuff. Yeah, so it's a simple to play game, but player just need to get a proper logic understanding about the game to play properly. So this is a typical key and gate puzzle. Yeah. And in our game, player will need to collect these data cubes, and they need to insert it into the slots to open up the gate. Right. And in our tutorial levels, we prefer to do a rather slow version of a tutorial, because we want player to get used to everything new to them, so that they don't feel rushed, like there's 1,000 things being introduced to them. They have no time to learn it. So yeah, we give proper and enough time for player to get used to things at their own pace, right? It's a very welcoming tutorial game. And here player gets to meet a mystery identity. And this mystery identity represents the main character's dead mother. And its purpose in the future is actually trying to convince the main character to stay in the digital world, where he can use his programming skills to create his own perfect world. Right. So let's get going. And this is the introduction to the second programming mechanic of the game itself, where there are function tiles on the ground itself to further change objects in different ways. And in this case, the lock's direction get changed. And here there's a facing tile that push whatever object that move onto it, including the character itself. So here player gets introduced to actually putting functions onto them. And here I have no way to walk through the gap, and I can put a facing tile, facing function on the grid, and it can push me through it. Yeah. So the inspiration behind the creation of this game is actually a kind of old Game Boy Advance game called Golden Sun. So in that JRPG game, you can actually use the character's elemental power to change the surrounding. And I like it a lot. And it's one of my favorite puzzle games. And so when I started creating game, I thought of like, I can change the context of elemental power changing the surrounding into use programming skills to change stuff, and it's quite a pretty unique mechanic, and I don't see any other games using the same context. Yeah, and so far quite a lot of people like it. Yeah. And yeah. So there's also a virus that acts as an obstacle in the game itself, and player need to get around it. You can't touch it, and when you try to touch it, it pushes you back. And that is pretty much the core gameplay mechanic of the game itself. So for the first level, we want player to get used to everything first, and the only hackable object is the lock itself, including some basic function tiles. The one where it pushes things around and rotate the orientation. And in every new level, there will be a whole new environment, which comes with a whole new set of hackable objects. And player is basically playing through the game using the same old mechanics, but every new objects will give them fresh experience again. And that's how we keep player interested to the game all the way. And along the way, there will be stories as well. And that is pretty much a quick introduction to the game itself. Yeah. Our current biggest challenge is pretty much like most of the other indie developers as well. We have a very tight budget, and that is also one of the reasons that caused us to have pretty challenging production time. So we actually don't have like we have a small team of 3, and we don't work on this full time. We work on this on and off every time we have sufficient budget. And during our downtime, we will work on extra gigs to fund our life, to fund the project itself, right? And currently, we spent quite a number of years working on this to this point. And previously, the game doesn't look like this, and it's a pretty like JRPG and some puzzle games itself. But along the way, we test the game, we iterate through the designs, and yeah, this is where we are at. And we spent a lot of time trying to polish up the visual to the point where you feel like you are inside a digital world. And that helps a lot to improve the gameplay atmosphere, right? Currently, the game, we have a Steam page up in Steam, and we have an early demo version of the game itself available as well. So you can try it out on Steam by searching the game's name, Exist.EXE. We are on Facebook and Discord. You can look at our studio's name, Skyfeather Games. Yep, just Sky and Feather Games. And in our Facebook page, there'll be links to Discord as well. The links are all available in our Steam page as well, so check us out.